Sorry, I just was getting a sip when this came on. And I just wanted to share with you, I recently was interviewed for an article about loneliness in our children as an epidemic. And one of the things that came about is when I was researching it, was that, so there's this question. It says, on a broader societal level, in which way is loneliness amongst our youth harming our communities and society? So that was the question that they posed. And the reframe I offered was, I was listening to a lecture and they were talking about a study that was done on chimpanzees in Africa. And the anthropologist noticed that there was a group of chimpanzees that demonstrated some depressive behavior. And they weren't eating, they weren't playing, they weren't participating. And the anthropologist wondered what would happen if they took these chimpanzees away and removed them from the community, from their tribe. And so what do you think happened when they came back 6 months later? So they removed them for that period of time. Most people think that nothing untoward would have happened. But actually what they found when they returned was the entire village, the entire tribe of chimpanzees had died. So they realized that these depressed chimps were actually the early warning system. They were the ones that were acknowledging that something was happening. Maybe elephants were coming, or snakes, or a storm, or they were the sensitive ones, the canary in the coal mine, if you will. And the other chimpanzees, when they saw the depressed chimps, knew that something must be wrong. And so that's what we want to understand when we're looking at the depressed in our society or the loneliness in our children, that we should be on that level listening to the depressed and the lonely amongst us, right? We should be more depressed about the corruption of the world. We should be more depressed by climate change. We should be more depressed about global hunger and poverty. So the issue is not the presence of loneliness being the problem. The issue is recognizing loneliness and depression for what it is. So instead of looking at these things as a problem, perhaps we need to look at them as warning signs that something is terribly off with our society. And so we need to ask ourselves how we can navigate our way back to connection and to community. And this is an article. So this is an article. You can look up the rest of it if you go to medium.com and then search my name, and the article will come up and you can read it if you like. And I'll just continue with the last little bit here, that basically I wrote that our children are speaking loudly to us, and the megaphone they're using is loneliness. So loneliness is a signal that we haven't taught our emotional. So loneliness is the signal that we haven't actually taught our children to be emotionally intelligent. We haven't taught them the emotional skills necessary to navigate the inner landscapes of their lives. And that's likely because we as adults have not been taught these skills. So now is the time to do the work, to get the help, and to make the changes necessary to move towards cohesive family systems and communities that are in connection with each other. And we need to listen to our children, take note, rise up, respond, connect, tune in, not tune out, and look at these signals that are being sent to us from our society of loneliness and depression, whether it's amongst our children, amongst our friends, the elderly, that they're telling the rest of us that something is gravely wrong with the direction that we're going in collectively. And so we have a chance to course correct, and we can do that. But it takes each and every one of us to help. We have to work on these things that are difficult to work on, right? And anyway, I just wanted to share that. I thought it was really powerful, the story of the chimpanzees, and so I'm hoping that you will check out the article. And thanks so much for listening.